There are individuals that you and I both know, we've been friends with for years,
Yes.
that are now in this administration, and they're heading up a faith office.
In the White House.
In the White House. Now, has this ever happened
Never.
to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
So what they're interested in is ensuring that if you are a true Christian, you're not going to come under an attack by a government.
The government's
agency.
going to stay out of the religious denominations in this
most
country.
people don't realize this, but a lot of what we hear about separation of church and state was under the Johnson administration. It was not in the Constitution.
No,
It was,
a
not in the
letter
Bill of
that was
Rights.
written.
Yeah,
That's all it was. It was not even an executive
order. That was
order.
a letter from a Baptist pastor to I think it was Jefferson. But when you get it to the modern day of keep the church out of politics, that came through Lyndon Johnson. And President Trump, our present president, has even brought that out in times past. And we won't get into all that. But our goal and your goal should be to bring in the kingdom of God to the earth. You know, I love this verse over there in the book of Revelation where it deals with the great tribulation coming. It says, while the tribulation's going on earth, and the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our God. I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is the tribulation, and the kingdoms of this world are now the kingdoms of our God. And then it says the 10 kings. Now this will blow your mind. You need to read it. That are under the Antichrist, that they are going to do God's will. That by giving their kingdom over, they are it says in the book of Revelation, they are doing the will of God. So in the midst of everything that's about to happen in the future, the whole goal is get the will of God released in the earth, and then we as God's people, as the kingdom, follow it.
Unite around the kingdom.
That's where it all,
So this is the reason I wrote this book on the kingdom, and it's a very powerful book. It's called Living the Fourth Dimension. The kingdom is the fourth dimension. When you begin to live the kingdom, you don't really focus on anything else. The kingdom is it. It is the government of God. Pray when you pray like this. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Get a copy of this book. Go to my website, tonyscott.tv. It's real simple. Or you can go to We As People. Anything that we have is always going to be offered on there. I want you to understand what's going on in this country. Judgment has come to Washington, D.C. Most of us, I didn't believe I would live to see the day, but thank God I have. And when judgment begins to come to the seat of government, when judgment begins to come to the house of God, you just watch the move of the Spirit of God.
Revival historically has always followed. So we don't look at it negative. We look at the attacks that are inspired by Satan as negative. But you don't look at that negative, because God has to get his house in order.
Yes.
That's why it said it begins at the house of God. See, God doesn't judge a nation. We always thought God would judge America. God's going to judge, the West Coast, East Coast. No. What God does first is he gets his church straightened out. He gets the church straightened out. And then when the church gets straightened out, which is what we're talking about, the prayer, the intercession, everybody's heart getting right, then you have him going to the nation. And then you have your revival breaking out.
So let me tell you
question about it.
Let me tell you something God said to me. He said, focus on my kingdom, and you will not have to be concerned about people or money if you will focus on my kingdom.
What if you could change someone's day by simply sharing this video? So you never know how spreading the good news of Jesus could make an impact on someone's life. So take a moment, comment, share, and subscribe.